Razor sharp instrumentals.
How to turn cash into credit. I was wondering how I was going to do that one. So how do we turn cash into credit? Here we go. How to turn cash into credit. First off is this subject is mainly targeted towards people for the people out there that are looking to build and reestablish their credit right now. And I know most of us, especially black folks, we seem to feel like we don't have many options. A lot of options are not out there, or simply we don't know of the options. So basically, I'm gonna breeze through one particular option that I know a lot of us out there know about it and are utilizing, but I'm gonna let you guys know pretty much the pros and cons of option one. Option one being Capital One. The Capital One secured card it works. It does help. It does help reestablish and build credit and raise credit scores. But this is the thing about the Capital One secured credit card. And for those that don't understand the difference between a credit card and a secured credit card, real quick, a credit card is simply a card that you get after applying for a credit card with no money down, basically. No cash collateral needed. So if you apply for a $500 or $1,000 card, American Express card, you either are denied or you're accepted, and then they'll send you out a card for $1,000 that has a $1,000 balance on it. I'm not saying American Express does that, but yeah, that's an example. And a secured credit card basically needs you to put to front cash to pretty much secure that loan, because that's pretty much what we're dealing with when we're dealing with any form of credit. It is a loan. So if you need, most of us that have bad credit, maybe in the 500s and stuff like that, low fours, high fours, 500s. The only card that you probably can even qualify for is a secured card. So you would have to, most companies start off with maybe $250 or $200, $200 credit limit cards. So if you apply for a $200 card on a secured credit card basis, you have to give them $200 in order to give you $200. So that's like me giving you, I'm gonna give you $200 after you give me $200, and because of that, that's the initial relationship. Now some companies, depending on the card, depending on the company, after you pay back that initial payment of $200 or make payments on your $200, what'll happen is they'll increase the available balance. So after you pay back $200, they'll increase it to maybe $350 or $500 if you're lucky. But the point of the matter is that we can't. There are other options. I know a lot of us like, well, why would I pay this? Why would I give $250 in order to, they call it a deposit, the minimum deposit. Sometimes they might, for a $300 card, you might have to make a minimum deposit of $130 or $200, and you're only gonna actually have an available credit of $1,000, and you get the deposit back after the whole balance is paid back, and then from there they may increase your limit. or however, depending on the contract, the agreement, and the credit agreement. All these different type of cards and credit card companies, they seem to work a little bit differently than the next, and a lot of aspects of it are exactly the same. But the whole concept of a secured card is basically you putting up your own cash to secure the loan. Whether you have to secure the loan for the entire amount. If you want $1,000, you have to put up $1,000, or you have to put in a partial collateral, cash collateral, $500 for $1,000. It all depends on who you're dealing with and what's available. So next, Capital One. Capital One is cool, but in my opinion, I wouldn't deal with Capital One. I haven't dealt with them. I know those who have dealt with Capital One, because that's the only option that they see advertised and stuff like that. But as far as Capital One, we gotta remember we're dealing with a situation with a high interest rate. So they have right now the interest rate for a secured card for Capital One is $24.99. So that's 25% interest rate on whatever they give you. And if you have bad credit, you're gonna start off at a low balance card at maybe 500, if not lower. So I think they start. Well, now you know what I think. Yeah, they started off at about $300, if I'm not mistaken. And I believe the deposit with that, they require a deposit. So you don't have to secure the whole entire loan. You don't have to match it. I believe that one is maybe $60 or $100 or something like that. But either or, the interest rate is crazy, and it's a revolving credit. It's a revolving credit card, so that means it's a continuous relationship. So I try to avoid getting involved in long-term relationships that I know won't have my best interest in the long run. So I try to avoid as many of those as possible. You can't avoid them all. Sometimes you gotta take a hit and do what you gotta do to get in the game. But definitely be careful on how many of these types of secured cards with high interest rates, or credit cards period with higher interest rates as possible. Now, so the alternative for people that don't really want to get don't really understand the whole credit system, how to properly manage credit cards to work in your best favor and stuff like that. There are two options two to three, or maybe even more options that are out there at your local banks. If you go down to your local banks, I say local bank and community banks, because local banks and community banks usually have the products and services that benefit the people that are banking there. When you go to like these major bank branches like Bank of America, Chase, and stuff like that, well, first of all, Chase doesn't offer these services that I'm about to mention at all anymore. The last time I spoke with a manager from Chase, I believe she said it's been about 10 years since they offered these particular services. And Bank of America, I believe they have secured credit cards. A lot of them don't have secured CDs and the secured savings accounts. So these are the secure savings and secure savings accounts are alternatives to credit cards. So what you would do is you'll go inside the bank and ask for that you want to start a secure savings account, or you want to open up a secure savings account, or you want to start a secured CD. Now, as far as a secure CD, for those who don't know what a secure CD is, a secure CD stands for Certificate of Deposit. So it's ultimately we're dealing with accounts here. Now I know CDs. People are a lot of us not really too familiar with CDs, because I know for years ago, the last time I overheard information about CDs, a person would be able to put up a certain amount of money, like usually like parents and stuff like that want to, or whoever that wants to put up money, and they pretty much want an account where the money works for itself, where it gains interest every year or whatever. So that person to put up $5,000-$10,000 into a secure CD, maybe for the kids college tuition maybe, and they want to gain interest, so they put up a certain amount of money within that CD, and you can put somebody, you know, on the account to be able to pretty much withdraw that money, you know, within whatever certain period of time that you put within the guidelines. So if you say your daughter can't touch this money until she's 18, your son can't touch this money until he's 21, that type of deal. So so the account is pretty much locked. So that's where I think a lot of us are up under the assumption that we can't access the money within a secure savings, or we can't start a secure savings without $10,000. The truth of the matter is you can, and these products are still available and a lot less accessible now. And they are used to they can be used to establish credit. So what you would do is either A, go into the bank and ask for a secure savings account. Secure savings account, and how secure savings account works is you decide how much money that you have that you want to put up for this account to secure it, because basically we're still technically requesting a loan from the bank. So let's say we want to establish a savings account for $1,000. We want the bank to give us a loan for $1,000, but they're just putting money against our money. There's no real money exchange except us giving them the $1,000. After they give us the $1,000, after we give them the $1,000, they throw that $1,000 inside of an account, and then which you have no access to. Usually you don't have any access to withdraw money from throughout the duration of the of the secured loan. Usually anywhere between 6 to 12 months. Sometimes they can extend it further, but or 24 months, up to 24 months, I believe. Sometimes even 36, depending on how much the amount. And with that bank will report your payments. You will make payments on whatever money you deposited for that secured loan. You will make payments on that on a monthly basis, and in return, that bank will report your payments to the credit bureaus, and that's how you establish credit. So you just turned your cash into credit, just like that. You've been up all day, you've been trying to apply for credit cards, won't nobody give you a credit card to even give you a chance to start establishing credit with credit cards and stuff like that. So it's like I understand that doesn't make sense if you don't qualify for something. How can how do you qualify yourself? You see what I mean? How do you show them that you're responsible enough to get lent money, get loaned money, or to hold a credit card? This is the way where you can force the issue. Okay, you put up your own money for it. That's pretty much you gotta look at that as being not that you're paying the bank. You have to look at it as if basically if we walking around with these cash dollars, we spending cash dollars. $1,000, we spent $1,000 or something. You gotta remember all the time it took you, or whatever it took you to make that money, to make that $1,000. It took you however many hours at work, whether it was 40 hours or 60 hours or 80 hours to make that $1,000, or whatever you was doing on the street or whatever, depending on what you do for a living. It took you energy, it took your time, it took your energy to make that money. So it'll be more beneficial to you, period, in general, on the level of just operating in commerce, to gain some type of interest, or to gain credit for those transactions. You see what I mean? If you work for a check, you cash a check and get cash, and you just spend the cash. There's no record of that cash besides maybe receipts and stuff like that. You have receipts, but that doesn't benefit you none. You know, just like if you're in business, you want to conduct business and do business with companies that report back to the Business Credit Bureau, to Duns and Bradstreet. You see what I mean? So it doesn't benefit you to go, if we have Shell gas stations and BP, it's up to you to know which gas station will benefit you. If Shell doesn't report to Duns and Bradstreet, why would you spend your money at Shell when you have to spend your money? You're gonna spend your money anyway. At least if you're gonna spend some cash, at least get credit for it. Who wants to do anything in the world and not build and not get credit for it? You see what I mean? Credit is everything. Everybody got to get out this illusion that if I ain't got cash, then I don't need it. If I can't buy it with cash, the thing is, yeah, you want to build yourself up where you can buy it with cash, but utilizing cash, using cash might not be the best option for you, because ultimately the world revolves around credit. There is no money. You see what I mean? There is no money. These cash dollars are irrelevant anyway. But that's another topic. Okay, back to the secured savings. All right, so the secured savings would be my first option for those that have credit scores below 600. For people that may have a credit score that's 600 and above, I recommend the secured CDs. Now, secured CDs, I recommend those because they, as opposed to the secured savings, even though they operate the same, the secured savings account gains interest, but the secured CD gains a little bit more interest. It's not a lot of interest, but you get more money back, as opposed to a credit card. You're not getting any interest back. Your money's not earning anything. You're just paying them a shitload of extra money a month. You know, 25% interest, you know, on a little bit of, on a low balance. So you never really have any cash to even play with to build, you know, even though it works to a certain degree. But the point is, these are better options. You know, if you have, because you can go to a particular credit union or a private bank or community bank and get a secured CD and maybe have like a 8, 9, 10% interest rate, possibly, because the interest rates are going to be lower anywhere whether you get bad credit now, because they're not looking at your credit. You see what I mean? Depending on the type of account, they might look at it initially, but you know what I'm saying, after that, you know, it's typically the standard interest rate. So you're gonna basically, your payback, you're gonna have to, you got the opportunity to pay back at a lower interest rate, and you have an opportunity for your money to gain interest. So the interest that your money gain on a monthly basis, you can use that towards the interest that's owed on the account or on the loan. You see what I mean? So it's like you're saving money, you're making money, so you're saving money, and you're still able to establish credit at the same time. And then it's not a revolving, since you're dealing inside the credit building process. You don't have to worry about getting tied in long term, having a long term credit relationship with a company or a credit card that's really ridiculous as far as prices, fees, penalties, and interest rates. So this is the way you can go in, put up some cash collateral, pay it back, just make your payments on time, build up your credit. Now go in there and move on to the next level now. Another downside to starting off with the small secured credit cards with the low balances that you have. For one, you have, especially if you short on money, you don't really have a lot of money. You just doing absolutely what you can do to just start the process on building credit. You know, sometimes you might need that money. You know what I'm saying? So you do want to have access to as much available credit as possible without going over your credit to debt ratio. So when we're talking about the credit to debt ratio, whatever your available balance is, your available credit is, you don't want to go over 70% of that. After you go over 70%, now it starts to hinder and starts to hurt your credit instead of helping your credit. So, and it defeats the purpose of the whole process. But you can't be one of them people that begins this process and starts getting secured credit cards, and you one of the people that's scared to use the card. If you don't use the card, you can't establish credit. If you don't use your credit, you can't build credit. So black people got to get out the mind frame and stop being so scared of this credit. Just don't get a habit just swiping everything. Utilize, separate your cards. You might have one card, small card, small high interest card, your Capital One card. Just use that strictly for gas. This is my gas card now. This is what I use to buy gas. You see what I mean? So you don't got to worry about losing control over the situation. All right. So another thing that the bank may offer, because this is the thing. A lot of banks, especially most of the major banks, they are really becoming. A lot of these banks are pieces of shit. They offer the people nothing. They usually don't have the people's best interest of holding our money and charging us to hold our money. And what sense does that make? So you may go to the bank and ask and tell them, like, look, I'm trying to build my credit up. Do you guys have secure savings, and do you report to the three major credit bureaus? Yes or no? 50% chance they're gonna say yes. 50% chance they're gonna say no. We don't offer that, but we have a secure CD. Now, if you get into a situation where they don't have secure savings, but they have secure CDs available, another difference between the secure savings and secure CDs, secure savings accounts you can open up at a smaller with a smaller deposit. So secure savings you can usually get for like $1,000 and up. Secure CDs the secure CD may start at $2,000 or $3,000. You see what I mean? So you might have to put up a little bit more money. So on top of having to put up a little bit more money, a lot of you might not qualify if a bank doesn't have a secure savings account, and they say, but we do have secure secure CDs, but it requires a minimum of 600 credit score. And you say, damn, I'm trying to build my credit. I don't have a 600 credit score yet. I'm trying to get there. So that eliminate those two options for you. But sometimes if it is a halfway decent bank, they will have another option that's strictly for people that's trying to build credit, and they'll call it some type of name and stuff like that, Credit Builder Plus or Entrepreneur or this or whatever like that, and it'll work the exact same way as a secure savings and a secure CD, except maybe it doesn't gain interest, or maybe this, maybe that. You see what I mean? And they require you to establish an account with them, and so they can automatically withdraw the money from that account. And that's actually how they're establishing a lot of the secure savings and secure CDs right now. Although with the secure savings and secure CDs, you do have a voice and a say so on how you want that account to operate. So you gotta know exactly what you're trying to do and what you need to do. Like, and then from there you stand on that, and then you go around and weigh your options. So if Bank of America doesn't have what you need, when you say screw Bank of America, you go over here to Chase. If Chase doesn't have what you need, well, screw them. Go to Fifth Third. If Fifth Third doesn't have what you need, then go to the corner bank, on the Joe Blow Bank on the corner. That'll be the bank that probably have everything you need, and then you'll realize how a real bank operates. You see what I mean? Alright, let me see. So the point of the matter is shop around, just like you would do anything. Don't go for anything. Don't settle for anything. I would shop around to at least 5 banks first, and then, like I said, well, if I didn't say already, make sure that the banks that you're dealing with are either one private banks and trusts, private banks, period. Community banks, same thing. Well, not technically, but credit unions are the best to me personally. We'll get into that in another video. And make sure if you're dealing with commercial banks, make sure we're dealing with the main banks, not a bank branch, not a branch from the main banks. You can look up online or give a local branch a call to make sure to see where's your main location. You see what I mean? For that particular city. You know, we have cities all through, all through the Illinois and throughout the United States. With every bank has a main branch or a main bank within that city. If I didn't say it, I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna say it again. Once you get your card, your credit card, your secured card, once you get your secure savings account or your secure CD, or you establish your credit building account, make all payments on time and do not ever be late at all. Or you're gonna end up in a worse position than you was before. Late payments are one of the hardest things to remove off your credit report. Do not be late on making your credit card payments. Okay, another key note is all banks are not created equal. Just because this bank, it doesn't matter if you're dealing with the same bank brand. This Bank of America might not operate or have the same things that this Bank of America does, and vice versa, and so on and so forth. You see what I mean? Ask around, ask questions. Tell the people be honest to what you're trying to do. For the most part, be honest, be open. You know, this is what I need my account to do. This is what I need my account not to do. It's also a good thing. Another key note is to make your payments in person. You know, by check, even better. You know what I'm saying? So now you're walking into the bank on a monthly basis, and you're able to speak and see to your private bankers and stuff like that. Establish relationships with the bank and the banker. The point of the matter, as far as utilizing other options as opposed to just settling and running head over heels for the Capital One type secured credit cards with the high interest rates and the low balances, because those things are long term. You see what I mean? It's a revolving credit card. So and they start in at a high ass interest rate, and you're gonna be stuck with that shit. So basically, you go on the secure savings account or secure CD route or the private bank credit builder program route, is because these things start at lower interest rates, anywhere between 17, 18, 19% usually. You see what I mean? Usually it doesn't go any further than that. And once you get done paying that, once you get done paying back that loan on whatever amount, that situation is done. You can move on. You know what I'm saying? And establish another one, or get ready to open up and apply for a real credit card now. You know, so with a nice credit limit and a lower interest rate that makes sense for you. You know, now those things are worth committing into a long-term relationship with. You don't want to get involved in a relationship with somebody that's gonna be doing you dirty and taking too much from you. You know, on a long period of time, throughout a long period of time. You know. All right, so that's that. Please follow me at True Hell Raised on Instagram. Subscribe to this video. Follow, comment, like, share, all the above. Pass it on to your brothers, sisters, aunties, uncles, whatever. Let me know what y'all think. If I missed something, then explain something thoroughly enough for you, or something, or you have another question about something, just hit me up in the message, comment, however you want to do it. Hey, we gotta start asking questions. We gotta start talking. You see what I mean? We gotta get this stuff figured out. All right, so Hell Raised, I'm back.